Hello and welcome back to video 2, the Crusader Kings segment of my Paradox Interactive Historic Playthrough Mega Series, playing through the history and origins of Russia. And we are playing as King Vladimir the Great. It says of Novgorod, but really he is of Kievan Rus. And so I should have that here as culture that we created in the last video. And we are playing in the year 988, which is a very, very famous year for King Vladimir. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to do a lot of stuff this year, or at least try to do it. We are going to convert to Christianity, as historically happened. Orthodox Christianity, to be certain. And we are going to embrace feudalism, and there you go. So Vladimir was originally run out of this area when his older brother killed a different brother, and that did not happen in the game, unfortunately. Oh, I didn't realize that my son was incapable. That is super cool. I just now saw it. Like, oops. Okay, that's going to make things really super exciting, because Vladimir had 12 sons, and I think I have 12 daughters. So, let's see, girl. Okay, a second son, which is good, and then a first son, Izyaslav, who is an invalid. Not historically accurate. Speaking of history, as we get started, in addition to the primary chronicle, I've added a new source, which is Medieval Russia, 980 to 1584 by Janet Martin. I'll go ahead and put that up there on the screen for you, as well as a link in the comments. That book is helping guide my historicity. So here is what we're going to do about Christianity. Vladimir sent for scholars to come from all 4 of the major monotheistic religions at the time. So he wanted scholars to come from Roman Catholic, from Orthodox, from Islam, and also from Judaism. And a lot of the Khazars were Jewish, who practiced Judaism. So I've given myself kind of a challenge to have somebody in my court that meets each one of these religions, to invite them. Let's open up courtiers, because it's a little bit easier of a... There we go. So we have Roman Catholicism, and I had Judaism before. What is this? Oh, I didn't realize I had a Muslim. And he's my physician. That is so cool. Okay. All right. That helps me a lot. I had a Jewish advisor, but I think that she's in prison now. Oh, not anymore. All right, I had a Jewish prisoner. But they were in court. And so one of the things that I was really worried about getting to Islam was you really can't invite someone. Although, wow, I can't believe I found this physician and that she's been on my... Let me check my other court positions. I mean, I guess I would have seen that in courtiers, right? So I don't need to check it. So I'm missing Judaism and Orthodox Christianity. So what I was going to do for Islam that I don't need to do anymore is I was going to do a university visit. Because I figured if you can't bring, Muhammad to the mountain, you can bring the mountain to Muhammad, right? So I can do a university visit to Constantinople, and that will satisfy my my Orthodox Christianity. But what I need to figure out is how to get somebody of the Jewish faith. Now, something I could possibly do is exchange hostages. Let's see if we can do that. Okay. So if I exchange... Yeah, take this guy. Okay, so she's Jewish. So that's cool. But this guy is unwilling to exchange any hostages with me. So let me see if there's somebody else I can exchange hostages with. Who are you? Okay, but they need to be Jewish. Alright, let's try you. I'm not going to do this forever, I promise. Alright, let's send my son. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's see if they'll take my other son. Yep. Alright, here, you can take care. Alright, so with this, I will have a Jewish member in court, and I can now go ahead and plan my university visit to an Orthodox. Holy cow, that is a lot of travel difficulties. What is it all here? Wetlands? Okay. That is a ton. Oh, not a lot of people going away on that one. You know what? Maybe what I can do is instead we will go by water. Hey, what do you know? And then what we'll do is we'll come back by water. Whee! Look, everything went away. And I don't even need a forwarder anymore. But we might as well go ahead and hire captains. Right? And I'm only doing this to meet... Oh, let's see. What is this? Oh, no. Okay, we'll study hard. I'm only doing this to meet my own personal goal of coming in contact with the 4 primary monotheistic religions. Let's get this underway, and then we will go from there. Hey, this is a nice surprise with my university visit. There is an option to have both a Jewish and an Orthodox Christian join my court. So let's go ahead and do that, because that is going to satisfy all 4 of my conditions. So let's see that. We'll go ahead and pause it. So remember, like I said, Vladimir invited scholars from, they called it Latin Christianity, Orthodox Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, and inspected all of them in their various rituals and in their beliefs. And I'm not going to say he judged them necessarily properly on their doctrine or anything like that. It was more kind of in their outward, like how impressive it was to him. That was the impression that I got. And in the end, he decided that Orthodox Christianity was the most impressive of them. So I'm sure that would start a few arguments. But let's move above. Okay, so we have Latin Christianity, Judaism, already said that before, Islam, and Orthodox Christianity. All 4 are met. So when I return, I can, from my university visit, I can convert to Orthodox Christianity. All right, here I am walking on my way back to the capital. Okay, good. We're done. So now what we can do, and I don't think it really went down that way, is convert to... Who is this? My steward and vassal is plotting against me. Gee, that's awesome. Okay. Is we can convert to Orthodoxy. I arrange for a priest to come and conduct the rites. Who is this Yeli Komsky? Oh, a priest. Alright, let's try it. Okay. So, that has been done. That is historically accurate. Again, whether it went down like that or not, I don't necessarily know. But what I'm very interested at this point is in whether I can also embrace feudalism at this point. There we can. Okay. So this is a little bit tough. There's a lot of not exactly historically matchingness going on here. So let's dig into that for just a minute. All right. First of all, this concept of a giant land, a single land like this, as I have here, of the Kievan Rus. First of all, let's ignore that it's called Novgorod, because that's not really true. Novgorod really is only this area up here. Okay, that the entire kingdom is called that. We're going to actually, once I convert or adopt feudalism, I'm going to actually fast forward to a different time period, and I'll go ahead and do that on camera. But anyway, the premise of Kievan Rus feudalism being like with serfs and they pledge their warriors and all that sort of thing, that is really not exactly the way that it goes. But number one, I don't want to be stuck in tribal forever. And number two, we're going to get into this video shortly, that there was an overarching rulership, a plan of rulership, but it didn't have to do with this top-down pyramid of feudal ways. It had everything to do with the Rurikid dynasty. And so coming all the way on down from Rurik himself, and then really kind of moving on down through Vladimir. Where are we at? Igor. Here we are. That it is the heads of the dynasty who were considered the rulers of Kievan Rus. So, for those two reasons, I'm going to make a slightly non-historical choice to adopt feudal ways. Yay! Long live Novgorod. Again, that's not really right. Okay, and I also did see that I have legend seeds. The most holy life of King Vladimir. I kind of like that. Vladimir, as he became known as Vladimir the Great, he led Rus. He unified the Rus sort of, I won't say culturally, but like militarily, and kind of brought them together to, to unified purpose. He was the one to bring Christianity to the Rus lands. And so I think that the most holy life of King Vladimir is actually a perfect legend to start. And let's go ahead and do it. So I think that's pretty good. We've pushed pretty far. I probably should have ended video 1 with this, but video 1 kind of dragged on for a little while, and this was kind of a fun and exciting way to start video 2. So let me putz around here for a little bit, clean things up, and then we're going to move on to talk about the princes of Vladimir. Even though he doesn't have any, he has one, right? Oh, by the way, I sent my invalid son and exchanged him as a hostage, and he died. He had a seizure and died while he was over there. So, Crusader Kings gonna Crusader Kings. It happens. Now, with that somewhat monumental decision having been made, I'm going to do something, and I'm probably going to be doing this a lot more in the future, and that is, I'm going to switch to the new time zone, to the new time period. I'm just going to fast forward to 1066. Let's go ahead and just see if we can do that now. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I really want to show you this, is I'm going to pick a ruler in 1066, not one of the standard ones, but just zoom in and pick a ruler in 1066. And there's two reasons I'm doing this. One is that I really do like to play as historically relevant and accurate as possible. And so when things go just crazy, like, I don't know if you remember, but the Seljuks, they didn't exist on the previous map. And so things can just go crazy in terms of border. Hungary didn't exist, and borders can get kind of messy. The Pechenegs didn't exist, and yet the Pechenegs were massively important to the Rus. So if I choose a new player, and it should probably be this fellow here. Okay, now he's got the entire kingdom. So that's a little bit surprising to me. What about... Can we go... Alright, he's got the whole thing. Okay, fair enough. Now, first of all, notice Orthodox, right? We already did that. Now it's Russian. In video 1, I formed Rus. I formed my own culture as a hybrid, which is probably more historically accurate than just being kind of Russian. But we'll go ahead and do this. So I'm going to start as King Izyaslav, which I had one of those, by the way. In 988, my invalid son was named Izyaslav. So that's this guy. So it's the alternate, actually real history of what really happened. And this is going to allow us to get into, although we probably don't have the seed that we had. That sucks. So, okay, we lost the seed the legend seed that I just put in, but, you know, we could always do a Sons of Rurik or something like that. But we're going to get into discussions about the princes and go through all these. Polusk, Chernigov, Pereslavl. I probably need to learn how to pronounce these better. I don't know that this would have been Ruthenia, but really what it would have been around is Kiev. Okay, let's get into that. I already got into this a little bit, but we're going to really go into detail about it now. And that was who really ruled Kievan Rus. So in the previous... well, actually, in this video, we had the whole area underneath Vladimir the Great. And that was somewhat historically accurate. But what Vladimir did is dish out these various areas, provinces, locales, to his children. So here he is. This is not Vladimir. This is Yaroslav, right? So there we go. There he is, Vladimir the Great, right? And so here you see Vladimir. No, this is Yaroslav. Okay, I am, right? So I am a son of Yaroslav. Let's just open the family tree. It's going to be a little easier. Where is it? The tree to the trees. Okay, so here's Vladimir the Great, Yaroslav the son, Izyaslav. So the son, the eldest son, would have... That's not really true. The eldest prince would have taken the seat of Kiev. And specifically, in this Rota system... That is what we call it. That's what historians call it, the Rota system. It's like the ladder system. That these principalities were not immediately inherited by sons. They were inherited by the eldest member. This is really difficult to understand, especially if you play Crusader Kings. They were inherited by me closing windows and reopening them again. They inherited by the eldest member whose father had sat in the seat of Kiev. It had to be those two rules. And if the eldest member at the time was a brother, then the brother would have gotten it. That's very not Crusader Kingsy, right? That's very English, Europe-y style feudalism inheritance. But it's the eldest living person who was eligible to sit in the Kievan throne because their father sat in the Kievan throne. So that may sound like, oh, they inherited it from their father. Not quite. They inherited the capability to inherit it from their father. So it was not directly passed from their father. That's a key difference. Okay, so what happened in the meantime is sons were placed in various other principalities. So, and there were sort of tier 1 and tier 2 and tier other principalities. So the tier 1, the apex principality, was Kiev, right here. All right, this was number 1, and everybody wanted to get here because you were the man if you made it here. And there were tier 2 principalities like Chernigov, Pereyaslav. These were tier 2 principalities, and they were typically reserved, and they would be ruled over by the son of the current ruler in Kiev. And it was kind of like how the son of the English king is known as the Prince of Wales, right? Similar to that, I think. Someone correct me if I'm wrong about that. I don't think I'm wrong about that. But that, again, did not mean that just because you were sitting here, would that mean that you immediately inherited the Kievan throne if the current throne occupant died. All right? So instead, we look at, so let's figure it out. So here it says your player heir. So this is wrong. All right, well, okay, let's make sure that it's wrong. So what I need to do is see, do I have a brother? Yes, I do. Okay, and what is he? So he's in Chernigov, which kind of makes sense, because again, this is a tier 2. So he should rotate in to the Kievan throne if I die. But we need to first see, did his father sit on the Kievan throne ever? And the answer is yes, because it's my father, right? He's my brother, literally. My father is Yaroslav the Wise, and my brother, Sviatoslav, his father also. So he would be the eldest. Is he truly the eldest? He's age 39, whereas my son is age 23. Okay, so Yaropolk would not be next in line for the Kievan throne. And I know that may have been painful, okay, of an explanation, but it was everything to these people. My historical source material goes on and on and on and on, as my father would say, ad nauseum. And what happened, and this is how I'm going to play this segment, is there were wars between brothers and between uncles and cousins and sons and everything like that for anyone that tried to violate that order. And here, I am trying to violate that order, at least as the way things are currently set up. And so, what I will probably do is just play as this guy, not really much on camera, and when I die, if my son takes my seat, I will probably switch over to my brother and make war against him to take my claim to the seat. Do I have claim? Yes, I do. Okay. Here it's as the Kingdom of Ruthenia, but really it should be the county of, Kiev, really. But that is not happening here. Well, I have tons of... How many claims does this guy have? Oh, yeah, see, he's got gobs. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at that. There it is. So I do have a claim on this. Right? So that would be the way to go. So that is the Rota system. And we're going to play a little bit more as the, I'm going to play a little bit more as the quote-unquote king of Ruthenia. Well, here. Me. Yay. And then we'll see what happens when I die. And then Novgorod became more and more and more significant over time because it was a massive center of trade. It was the link with trade to the north, and also Novgorod provided both fur and wax. That was one of their, I guess, beeswax, one of their main products. And their trade center would move in and out, trade goods from the east and from the west and the north and the south. And so whoever was able to tap into the wealth of Novgorod, that was very, very important to them. A little flavor event that's worth touching on, historically speaking. This time period really was beginning to be known, or was known as the Golden Age of Kievan Rus. And one of the ways that they could tell that was the increase in building of stone structures. So in other words, things weren't as temporary wooden structures as they were, as they were. And so, let's see what I deal with here. So I just think that this event popping up, even though it's going to cost me a ton of money, probably, and I'm lucky enough to be the guy that's like, it's going to get the, you lose 240 gold. Okay, so there's a 22% chance of that. There's a 0% chance here that I'm going to, let's go 50-50 with that one. All right. And let's see what happens there. And it didn't tell me. Okay, whatever. So I just think that that was kind of interesting. Oh, return to me on the offer. Yeah. Alright, this is going to be painful. Historically accurate. So I'm back in debt again when I just got out of it. That's also historically accurate. Anyway, so I just thought it was kind of fun to do something with stonemasons, given that I've read a lot about how the advancing state of stonemasonry was a reflection, and all over the realm. Novgorod, Kiev. Now, one of the things that I can't do that should be done by now is build the Golden Gate, which is not here. Here. Okay. That the Golden Gate of Kiev, now it's a ton of money, so that's one reason I can't do it. Just, again, talking about what was architected. But one of the grandest and most beautiful parts of Kiev, the Golden Gate of Kiev, which was built over a famous battle between Kievan Rus and, I believe, the Khazar. But you can see I can't do that because we don't have the battlements innovation, which is why I was yammering on earlier about... let me get that kid up there because I need to find him a spouse. Which is why I was yammering on about innovations. So let's see... battlements. Okay. Well, good. In only 260 years. The innovation system is so weird here. It's like, these things take so long. I don't know why it's like just, hey, always be obsessed with the thing that you also have exposure to. That's what I do. You have exposure to it, I'm gonna add fascination to it just so it will show up faster. These things take forever. But I'm off topic again. So it will be nice, and I will build the Golden Gate of Kiev as soon as I have the money, but because of that, because of what I just said about innovations, I have no idea. Because basically I'll be looking for exposure to battlements, and then I'll set fascination on it, and then have to wait my 12 or 20 years or whatever it is. So, moving on. Alright, so I did die of old age. A shameless adulterer. This is definitely true. Not on purpose. Having died... with my son Boris inheriting the throne of Kiev, we should take a look now to see if that's legitimate, according to not Crusader Kings mechanics, but according to the Rurikid dynasty rotation. So, you'll recall that I said there were two conditions. One, you had to... your father had to have sat on the Kiev throne, and 2, you had to be the eldest in the generation. So, I'm the eldest living, Boris is. My father, or rather, my mother, sat on the throne. However, it shouldn't go immediately to a son. It should pass, or rotate, to the next eldest of that whose father sat on the throne. It should go to it should be uncle, because again, women wouldn't inherit at all in this. And pardon me, especially because I've rather meticulously crafted my under-generation, I kind of want to disobey my own rules here. However, I don't think I'm going to do that. So in theory, what I should do is switch to to my aunt and play as her. However, there is something else here, which is she's 60 years old, has no living sons, and so the moment she dies, the person who would inherit the Kievan throne, who already has it, is me. And the Kievan throne would theoretically go to my brother when I die. So, kind of just feeling like rather than switch over to a 60-year-old woman and take and attack this guy for the Kievan throne until she dies, which could be like in a day, I think I'm just going to continue playing as him. So, there you go. So that's probably the last Rota explanation that I will give, and I will try and play it for the next 200 years. Well, it won't be, hopefully it won't be 200, it'll probably be 150. So there you go. We're winding this video down. In fact, that's really probably it, except for I want to have the one last piece be the event in the 1200s that will end video number 2 and kick us off to video number 3. So let's fast forward now. Okay, we're not going to fast forward actually. Just thought you might be interested in seeing how boring I am. I am rotaing myself to death here. And I was going to, and then I inherited as this new king. And then I realized, no, I can't do that. Let me switch to this guy, because he would have been the next in line, and he was still alive. We already talked through this. Well, this is who I just played as. And then I just died, and you can see I'm now playing as this. But one of the boring things was that guy was only, and you can still see now, only just the Duke, is probably the wrong term for it, of Novgorod. Like, I'm not even in Kiev anymore, but that's kind of what happened. So there's some historicalness there. It's a little annoying. Now, what I was going to do is then switch to, well, okay, we have to do this. I keep closing this. So this, but something I think just happened when I died. So Daniel had this brother, his next brother, who, okay, he did have titles. It's not that, it's this guy, right? This guy is the only living elder generation at this point whose father, or mother in this case, sat on the... So I know I did this before, but please bear with me. So I tried to play as this guy and like build up alliances to help me go back and take Kiev for myself, because that is what happened all the time. One of the books that I'm reading goes on and on and on and on and on. And in fact, people who were sitting on the throne, like this guy who's sitting on the throne of Kiev right now, would be considered illegitimate. And so he's got war being declared on him already, which sucks because then I'm going to get a truce. So in theory, what I should have done is had the next elder brother's claim. Okay, remember Daniel's living elder brother, this guy, Alexei. But the thing is, he is unlanded. So that makes it a little difficult, because I'm pretty sure you can't play as an unlanded character at all. I mean, I can play as a wanderer, but I don't know. That's kind of not really what I'm going for. But I could play as Pavel and go to war, which I was going to do. And I don't mind that because, oh darn, I get to play as the entire ruler of White Rus, which is nice to not be broke all the time again. And then what I could have done, even though I'm already at war with him, is I could have declared war on Ruthenia for my uncle's claim. He should be here. There he is, right there. Okay, and see, it says Prince. That is accurate. So, and he's of House Rurikid. So I should go to war with Ruthenia. Now, unfortunately, right before I died, and I may just rewind and switch to this, what happened was this AI-controlled Pavel decided to declare war on Ruthenia, but only to go after his duchess. So yeah, so he went after somebody else's claim. All right, if I roll back, let's see how far I can roll back. Okay, so I'm still playing as Daniel. Now, he did die, so I'm going to follow my rules, even though I'm going to switch off of him right away. Just because I want to see... I want you to see how this goes. And then, even though I've made promises that I'm not going to do this again, I really promise I'm not going to do this again. Okay, so let's switch off to Pavel of White Rus. I'm not in any wars. I should be able to... No, you're at an activity. Oh, I'm on tour. Okay, let's fast forward. Okay. Alright, now can I actually do what I want to do? And that is declare war. Here it is. Alexei Rurikid's claims. This would be what historically happened. That other rulers and other princes would go to war on behalf of the prince for their claim on the entire kingdom. Let's do it. Okay, I won the war, so let's see how it goes. Let's go ahead and enforce demands. Alexei Rurikid gains the contested title. Good. Okay, go ahead and disband. Ruthenia's still back. Alright, there's Alexei. Now, let's go ahead and switch to him. Okay. What do I have? My 1 holdings. So awesome. Not even sure what it is. Okay, well, so it is the seat of Kiev. So he has it. That's historically accurate. Okay. Now, the other news here, though, is he is 52 years old. So he's probably going to die soon. So then the real question is, and we can hopefully finally move on, who would be next? Because he was the last, right? So it was this gal here who sat on the throne before. Nobody else sat on the throne. She only sat on the throne of White Rus, never the throne of Kiev. So all of her children, I mean, again, Daniil's still alive, but that's not real. That's not real. Remember, I rewound for that. Okay, so he should be dead. Alexei should be dead. So at this point, the next person to sit on the throne would be, we would go back And look for, okay, the son of Boris? No. And then Daniil's children, the eldest, it would be this guy, Vasily Shuvalov. What's he got? Nothing. Now, oh, except for, remember, he never sat on the throne. That's right, he should have sat on the throne, but he never did. Okay, so that's important. This guy never sat on the throne because he died. And Alexei is sitting on the throne now, but he has no sons. So I don't know where this dude came from. I'm not even going to bother. Because he was dead the last time. So in theory, who would it be? Well, Sviatopolk, I don't think he sat on the throne. So it'd probably just go straight down to Yuri from Rurik. Okay. All right, let's fast forward. And here it is, at last, the event that I've been waiting for, or should I say dreading. And we are going to end video number 2 of the Crusader Kings segment with the rise of the Mongols. Anyway, we'll spend a lot, in fact, all of the next video talking about this. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. And the divided, already splintering kingdom of Rus will feel the wrath in the next video of Chinggis Khan, the rise of the Mongols. We'll see you then.